What's up? This is Metal Nate.
This is Brutal Brian.
And we are here with Alissa White-Gluz from the Agonist. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And you're on tour with Camelot, Ailstorm, and Blackguard right now. How's that going for you?
It's great. It's really cool.
Been getting good turnouts at shows?
Yeah, I mean the tour just started, but it's been really good so far. Like all the shows have been really fantastic, so.
Okay, and today's August 31st. Your EP comes out on the 3rd.
Right.
It's called The Escape. It has 2 songs on it? 2 new songs?
That's right, yeah. It's 2 new songs that are going to be on the album, but the versions that you're getting on the EP are actually demo versions. They're not quite finished yet, so this is really the only time you'll be able to get this sort of B-side stuff.
And it's sort of is this just to like tide fans over until the new album drops?
Yeah, and it's also just to give, like a lot of people have been asking like what is it going to sound like and you know, what are the influences, and so, I mean, it's just 2 songs, and they're 2 songs that sound pretty different, but it'll kind of give a little bit of a feel because we are using a different person to mix it this time around, and you know, there are, like, as opposed to just having Danny Marino writing, Simon McKay and Paco are also writing, so yeah, it'll give you a little flavor.
And in your opinion, is it similar to your previous release, Lullabies for the Dormant Mind, or? Yeah,
I mean, it's similar, but it's evolved at the same time. I wouldn't say that it sounds exactly like it, but it definitely sounds like the same band. I don't know exactly how it's all going to sound yet because we're not done yet, but when we are, then I'll have a little bit more information on it. As of right now, based on the songs that we have finished, it's going really well.
And if fans want to buy the EP, it's not going to be available on iTunes until October, I read. But
That's right.
You do have it on tour.
Yes, we do.
And you will have copies on tour with you, and you have a tentative date for the new album yet?
It'll be released early next year. That's all we know as of right now.
Okay. Has the whole album been already recorded though, and it's just sort of?
No, we're not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they can also pick up power gauntlets. I saw today.
That's right.
Tell me about those.
Well, you know, being from Montreal, there's sort of huge amount of resources in terms of art for, you know, album artwork, t-shirt designs, intro tracks, backing tracks, orchestrations. So basically we decided rather than, you know, outsourcing and getting artists from all over the world, we're going to try to really stick to where we're from, Montreal, because there's so many there. And so there's a Montreal artist. She's a fine artist. She does paintings, but she also does something that I found really interesting, which is yarn art, all synthetic yarn. And she does some canvases with yarn, but she also just makes items of clothing, and it's really interesting to watch because she just sits there with yarn, and a few minutes later she has an item of clothing in her hands. And so she started making these Agonist power gauntlets, which basically just fit over your arm, and they have the Agonist A on them and the Agonist symbol on them. And so yeah, just to support a local artist, and also because it's a really cool item, we have those on this tour only.
Awesome. So
yeah.
Definitely worth picking up then if any fans can make it out to these dates. And were you guys at all affected by Hurricane Irene? I saw a little bit of your tour vlog today, and it looked like the road got washed out. Yeah,
the actual shows, the show at Jackson, the show in Philly, it was pretty rainy, but the drive in between those two was pretty bad. Like, I can't say that we really felt like we were in a hurricane, but we did see quite a few trees down, quite a few roads that you just had to turn around and go back because the road became a lake. You know, we saw what used to be someone's backyard, which was now a river with, like, you know, propane tanks floating by, and lawnmowers, you know, floating up near people's, you know, the top of people's garage doors and stuff because it was, you know, flooded that high. So unfortunately, some people really got, you know, screwed with this hurricane.
They did, but I saw the yard that you were talking about that had the river in it. Did you ever make it to the show that was en route to? Because it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was, we were actually going just to do some other tour stuff, like photo shoots and stuff like that. So we weren't able to get to that, but we were able to get to the show. So.
Okay, well, at least you made it to the show, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're an active supporter of, or proponent of animal rights and PETA, if I'm not mistaken, as well. How much of your lyrics and the Agonist as a whole is influenced by your like these issues that you feel passionate about, such as animal rights?
Well, I think, I mean, my lyrics are definitely very, very influenced by them because I only write about stuff that I know about or am passionate about. I wouldn't really write about something if I didn't care about it, because then why would I feel like going on stage in front of thousands of people and screaming about it if I didn't care about it, you know? I'd have to say that after years and years of being in a band with the guys, I can see that they're a lot more sort of socially conscious and aware than when I first met them. So even though they're not vegan or you know, definite environmentalists, they respect my values and they do share a lot of the same values. So as a whole, I think our band is very you know, just sort of conscious of other people, other living things, the environment. You know, we try to just be really good people, and you know, that might not come through in our music necessarily, but it usually comes through when people meet us. So.
And I mean, I was thinking of Business Suits and Combat Boots, which was a while ago, but that video, which definitely got that message across.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there's something similar going on with future songs on the new album or music videos.
Yeah, well, we have a few ideas for music videos coming up that should be really interesting. And sorry.
All set.
we should have some music videos coming out along with the new album, and who's calling me? And I think it'll be really interesting, but I can't say what they're going to be yet.
Okay, still in the development stage.
That's right.
Okay, fair enough. How do you maintain your ridiculously awesome vocal range while on tour?
Thank you. I don't really know. I mean, I try to just stay healthy, eat properly, work out, get enough sleep. That's super important.
Do you do any warm-ups? Are there any drinks or foods that you find useful?
I drink Vega, which is this Canadian product, but I think it's available all over the world now. It's basically every macronutrient, micronutrient, vitamins and minerals, probiotics, basically everything that you need for your body to be optimally functioning in a shake. And it's all vegan, and it's soy-free. It's pretty much allergen-free for the most part. So pretty much anyone could have it. And yeah, sometimes you'll see on stage I have bottles of water that I drink, but I also have this big jug of something else, and that's what that something else is. It's Vega, because that I find is really good fuel for stage. And other than that, I just I don't really warm up. I mean, I used to warm up a lot, but I sort of got lazy with it, and then I noticed that it wasn't really doing much for me anyway, so I kind of stopped. But anyways, we'll see. Okay,
fair enough. With more and more fans of the Agonist and of music fans in general turning to illegal downloading, do you feel like it's still possible for bands to make a living doing what they love, playing music?
Yes and no. I don't think it's possible for bands to do it the way that bands used to do it, like in the, say, 80s and 90s when the rock band became this deity, this huge thing. Then, you could release an album and live off of it for a few years because the royalties coming in were that much. You could just tour each territory once a year, if you wanted even less than that, once every 2 years, once every 3 years. And because of that, every time you would go through, the show would be huge because, say we were playing Worcester once every 3 years, we'd have a lot more people than if we play once every 2 weeks, Now, because the album sales are no longer really a possibility, bands have to rely more on touring and more on merchandise to make money. And I think that with that as your primary source of income, it's not really possible to make it until you get to a certain stage, until you get to headliner stage. Because there's so many expenses involved with touring, whether it's putting gas in your van, repairs on your bus, plane tickets, whatever, that, the money coming in from t-shirts and from guarantees and that kind of stuff doesn't always cover it. So basically, if you're gonna be in a band because you want to quote-unquote make it, then you should probably quit now and go do something else. But if you're gonna be in a band because you want to just really get your music out there and play, then you have the right attitude.
Okay, and so with that in mind, when you're not on tour, do you have a backup job type thing that you're?
Oh yeah, we all have to work day jobs. It's impossible.
What is it that you do?
Well, this year I actually haven't because I've been working on the album, so I've just been really scraping by. Luckily, I've had jobs in the past that I really liked that I had savings from, so I'm living off the savings or whatever. I don't know if this is really personal information here, but anyways. Yeah.
If you don't want me to pry, I don't want to pry.
No, yeah. We all have day jobs. Let's leave it at that.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't want fans stalking you at your other job.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Here's the address of my office.
So, what are your hopes or goals for the Agonist in 2012 then?
Well, I want, first and foremost, I want this album to come out, which it will. And then I really just hope that everybody who has been supporting the Agonist up until now goes out and buys the album so that we can prove to the industry that our fans do mean something and that they do care about us. Because unfortunately, as much as we know that our fans mean something, the industry doesn't unless they see numbers and sales on the album. So if everybody goes out and buys the album, that's what's going to prove to the industry that, yeah, we do deserve to be on tour in the bigger venues so that we can play a longer set, so that we can play more often, so that we can play all the different cities. So then everyone that's, you know, oh, come play this city, come play that city, well, we'll be able to if you at least just, you know, show that kind of support. So that's what we're really, really hoping for.
Okay. And is there anything you wanted to say then about this new record aside from what you just said?
Basically just that it's coming out early 2012, and if you do want a sneak peek, that's the Escape EP. That's the best place to find it. And so far I'm about half done, and so far it's pretty interesting. So I highly recommend it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for doing the interview today. Really
no problem.
appreciate it.